How we doing, folks? Andre Pillow, player development professional, Blythefield Country Club, and founder of DNA Golf Instruction. We're finally to that point in the season where I'm going to start talking about driver. So I know a lot of my clients and followers are excited to finally hear that we're going to start talking about the big stick. Hopefully you've had some success this year watching some of the instructional videos in regards to our short game, putting, chipping, pitching, our long game in relation to full swing with every club in our bag, and now we're working up to the driver, okay? So I want to start today talking about our alignment and how important it is to have consistent alignment and a consistent setup with our driver in relation to our other clubs in our bag. And the reason I'm bringing this up, I can have a great lesson with the student can have a great swing with an iron, and as soon as they get the driver in their hand, things start to change. And alignment is one of those things that can change. So we're going to talk about ball position and alignment. When I talk about alignment, I'm going to tee one up here. I have my two alignment sticks laid out for my target line here. You'll be able to see them from the back camera there. And this gives us an idea of our target line and also our body. We want every part of our body, feet, knees, hips, and our shoulders to be parallel to our target line. We don't want our feet and body pointing at our target line and our whole body pointing at it and the club head pointing. That way we're not going to come over the top a little bit and we're not going to have a very connected motion to our swing, okay? So when we talk about setup, we'll get to ball position in a second. We want those feet, knees, hips, and shoulders to all be parallel to our target line, okay? Now what I see a lot in golf, and we'll kind of reference this back camera here, sometimes I'll see people that have their feet, knees, and hips square to their target line, but their arms are like this. If we see this long arm here, I know that their their body is open to their target. Their shoulders are open. Their shoulders aren't in line with the rest of their body. So if you're a person that has this kind of a feel to your swing or this type of a look with the protruding right arm there, you probably take the club outside and have a tendency of cutting across the ball, either hitting a big pull or some type of slice as it comes off the club face with an open club face. So that's very important if you're a person that's open to make sure that the shoulders are square, and more importantly, the buttons on your shirt and your sternum are in line with the golf ball or slightly behind it, okay? That way we know that the inner is behind the golf ball, and that's going to be a good factor in making consistent impact and getting it to head down the line, okay? Now, sometimes I see people the other way, where the shoulders and the hips and the knees are pretty square, but the feet are uneven, okay? We don't really want to see that either. Sometimes I see it with older gentlemen, and I allow it as we age because a slightly closed stance will give you more range of motion. It will be steep. But if that's the only advantage that we have, we go with it. I think of, we have a member that has a disability, and he uses one of the chairs and lifts his body up from that chair. And because of the chair and the position, it's okay for him to kind of work the club up to create some type of room so he can have momentum to get through that golf shot. So we work together and try to make that happen the correct way. But generally speaking, same thing. If everything is square and our feet are not, we'll see spinnier shots that go left or right. We'll have inconsistency. Sometimes we're even flipping with the small muscles and having trouble getting through the shot. So the biggest thing is to make sure that our lower half, feet, knees, hips, and shoulders are all parallel to our target line, and then we're ready to pull the trigger, okay? Now, another thing to talk about and discuss is ball position. Okay, and this is another thing where I see a lot of errors with a lot of my amateurs and novice golfers. And I'm going to grab an alignment stick so you can see this particular point here in a different way. So we'll put that kind of in line with the ball, and I'm going to go ahead and take this one and just remove it. So from the back camera, you should be able to see this diagram, and as well from the front camera. And we're going to talk about our ball position. One thing that I see a lot with golfers, once again, the driver's an anxiety-driven club. But I see people who set up with the ball outside of what I call the box. And in my mind, we have a certain box that we want our golf ball to stay in. And that box for me is going to be the middle of the toes on both of my feet here, okay? No matter what I do, I always want to have the ball somewhere in this area. It's very true that our driver, we want to play forward, but we don't want to play it out here. This is an uncontrollable area for us. We have to do something extra to get to that ball. So with my students, we talk a lot, especially with the driver, about making sure that the ball is in our reflection. If we had a mirror in front of us, is that ball in it? Where I'm standing, if you were my mirror where the camera is, that ball would be in my box, okay? Now what if my mirror was over here? That ball would be way outside of my box. So we want that to be in a place that we can hit the golf ball consistently without extra work. And that extra work is what throws things off and makes it hard to be accurate when you play golf, all right? So as a rule of thumb, always have the ball in the box, all right? Now, in relation to this driver, like I said, we want to play the ball forward in our stance. The idea behind this, playing it more off the inner part of your heel, okay, as you take your stance and setup. And once again, the idea behind this is you're taking your normal swing, you're bottoming out where you normally do, and now you're catching that ball more on the upslope, which is why we play it off the front foot, okay? This is a very, very crucial part of good driving. And the more anxiety you have, especially if you're not having success with hitting the golf shot, and I see you doing stuff like this, or even vice versa, where I see people with the ball back or kind of favoring the back, well, when that happens, we want to work back to kind of almost feel like the ball is in our box, but obviously we're reaching for something that we really can't hit consistently, okay? So in the box is the key. Off the front foot is fine, but if you are struggling with any issues of accuracy, I think it's okay to tell you, even if you're playing it in the right position, especially those that slice, don't be afraid to move it a little more center. In my mind, the closer we get to center, the easier it is for you as a golfer to understand where we need to get the club back to, and the neutral part of our body is the middle part of our body, and it gives us a very neutral place to start. Sometimes if we're out here too much, our body loses this connection and we cause a lot of issues. So don't be afraid to move it a little further back towards the middle and just see if you have more success, especially those people that slice, okay? So this is the start of our driver conversation. We're gonna get into a lot more, but wanted to talk a little bit about alignment. Remember, train tracks parallel to our target, feet, knees, hips, and shoulders. And also remember that when we address the ball, even though we play it forward, we want that golf ball to be in our box, okay? Thanks for watching. You all have a great day, and we'll have more videos related to driver soon.